Okay, let's see. You've been practicing your reading, right? Maybe reading a book, or maybe just reading interesting articles you find on the internet or social media. Fantastic. And you've been watching films and series and YouTube videos in English to improve your listening, right? Great. And what about your writing? Have you been practicing your writing? Maybe not writing essays or formal letters, but contributing to Facebook group chats, in the YouTube comments. Splendid. And grammar. Do you revise the grammar occasionally? Just go back over some of the grammar you've learned in the past? Wonderful. And speaking. You're finding opportunities to speak, right? To practice your fluency, etc. Excellent. Excellent. Oh dear, we have a problem. And it's a very common problem. And today I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you some options on how to improve your speaking, even if you have no one to speak to. So welcome back to another video with me, Ben Gill. This is To The Point English. It's lovely to have you in my home. And today we're going to be looking at how you can improve your speaking. Now, whenever anybody asks me this, they say, Ben, how can I improve my speaking? I just give one answer, and it's to speak. Speak, speak, speak. Like most things, the best way to improve is to do. It's the act of doing, practice. And I think people usually want a quick fix or a hack, an easy answer to that question, how to improve their speaking. And that doesn't really exist, unfortunately. Because often people will say, but Ben, I don't have anyone to speak to. I don't have anybody to practice my English with. And I usually ask them two questions when they say that to me. The first one is, are you sure? Have you really tried? Have you really looked enough? And we're going to look at that question in a bit more detail in a moment. And the second question I ask them is, who told you that you need somebody to speak to in order to improve your speaking? Okay? And we're going to look at that question in more detail in a moment too. So, do you know how many people are studying English in the world at this moment? Well, according to the British Council, it's 1.5 billion people, okay? So when people tell me that they can't find anybody to speak English with, to practice their English speaking with, I find that a little hard to believe. I think it's a bit of an excuse, maybe it's a bit of laziness, or maybe it's because they're shy. But there are 1.5 billion people out there who are probably in a similar situation to you, that they don't have enough opportunities to speak. So when I ask, are you sure you can't find anyone who would like to speak English with you? Maybe you've asked your close friends or members of your family and nobody really wants to speak, but you have to look a little further afield. You have to go one or two steps further. And with today's technology and communication possibilities, there really is no excuse. So what can I recommend to you? Well, I know most people would like to practice their speaking with native English speakers, and that would be great. But to be honest, it's not that easy to find native English speakers who are willing to practice English with you for free. So really your best opportunity is to find other English learners to speak to. And there are hundreds of thousands on Facebook at least. So maybe join a Facebook group or two. Just put in a comment, is there anybody who would like to practice their speaking with me? Maybe mention your level so you have a similar level. Nobody really wants to practice with someone who has a much lower level than them, and vice versa. It's good to try to find somebody with a higher level than you, but then they will be practicing with someone with a lower level than them. So yeah, try to find a similar level. And then through the technology we have, through video conferences or through the free calls now you can speak for hours for free. You make appointments. I wouldn't recommend that you meet anybody face to face. That could be dangerous. So be careful when you're making these contacts on through the internet. But But yeah, there are so many opportunities now. If you say you can't find anyone to speak English with, I think it's an excuse, to be honest. And you can. Just make the effort. Be proactive. Don't expect other people to find the solutions for you. So now looking at that second question I ask, who says that you need someone to speak to in order to improve your speaking? Now, of course, in an ideal situation, you would be having a conversation with another person in order to improve your fluency, your grammar, in real time, using your grammar and vocabulary in real time. But that's not always possible. But there are other ways to improve your speaking. Because really, when you're practicing your speaking, you're trying to improve your pronunciation, your fluency, as I said, and yeah, using all that grammar and vocabulary in real time. But you can do most of that on your own. Now, for the pronunciation side of things, I would recommend that you read out loud. So find a book, any book, preferably a modern book, not Shakespeare or any of those old books with old English, but you know, relatively modern English. And just read out loud and pay attention to your pronunciation, and also pay attention to the grammar you're using, the vocabulary. Don't stop to make notes, just continue reading and record it. Everybody now, I think pretty much everybody now, has some kind of recording device on their mobile, or maybe with a camera, even better with a video. But record as you're reading out loud and then later listen back to it. Now, I know it's a horrible experience, trust me, I know, listening to yourself speak or seeing yourself on video, but it really is a great way to improve your pronunciation and fluency, because you can learn from yourself the way you're speaking, and then the more you do it, the better you get. You eliminate some of the bad pronunciation that you don't realize you're pronouncing badly when you can't hear yourself externally. Your voice sounds very different inside to how it sounds outside. So yeah, try reading out loud. Also, just talk to yourself out loud again. You may feel a bit crazy, but after some time practicing, it will become quite normal. Again, nobody knows if you're speaking to yourself, if you're speaking to your friends on the phone, or if you're recording a message or recording a video. So have a little conversation with yourself. Maybe play both roles in the conversation. Be both parts, both people in the conversation. It's embarrassing at first, but if you're alone, nobody's going to know. And finally, try imitating what you hear from other English speakers. So for example, when you're watching a film, just repeat what they say out loud again. I guess it's better if you're watching the film alone, but yeah, just repeat what the conversations that people are having in these films, or even documentaries, because documentaries are real English. They're not actors reading a script. Usually they contain real people having real conversations. So yeah, try imitating their pronunciation. Now, for anybody who's seen any of my previous videos on accent, you may think I'm contradicting myself here, because I always say you should not imitate another accent or copy an accent. I'm not talking about that here. I'm talking about imitating the person speaking on the TV or in the YouTube video, just to try to get the correct pronunciation, the way of speaking, the intonation, the form of the mouth, etc. There are many videos on YouTube by people who know a lot more about it than me on imitation technique. Maybe I'll put a link to one of those in the comments, but it's a very useful technique. But really, you need to be speaking out loud as much as possible. With another person or on your own, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just do it. Just start speaking. Speak. And pay attention. Pay attention to other people speaking. Pay attention to yourself speaking. Think about and notice what is happening when you are speaking, to try to correct any imperfections you have when you're speaking. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any other techniques, any other strategies for improving your speaking. Maybe it's not a problem for you, but it's the one area which people don't have many opportunities to practice. So I hope this video has helped you. Like it if it has. Maybe subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I forgot to tell you, you can also talk to your pets in English. Can't they, Amy?